Hello everyone. Our lesson for today will be about the process of communication. So as you can see here in the chart, these are the elements in and the factors that you can find in the process of the communication. So let's begin. So the first element is the sender. So let's see. The sender will be the one who will be encoding the message. The sender is the person that is delivering a message to a recipient. So, sender will encode a message and then the it will pass through a channel. The channel is the means or the transmission or the method of delivering the message. This could be written or oral. The message is the information that the sender encodes to the recipient, which is the receiver. And the receiver will be the one who will be decoding the message that the sender has said. So, in decoding, this is the interpretation of the message. This is performed by the receiver, who is the person who getting or receiving the message. After the receiver decodes the message sent by the sender, he will once again encode a feedback. So this is just a whole cycle in the process. So the receiver will also encode a feedback to be sent through the sender. So having a feedback means that the communication between the sender and the receiver are effective, which means the process is complete, and the sender will receive the feedback, and the sender will decode the feedback of the receiver. In some instances, yes, through the whole process of communication, there is also one factor that may act as a barrier or that will hinder the whole process of communication. So let us once again recap the whole process of the communication and how it works. The sender develops an idea to be sent, so he will encode the idea and he will send a message through the channel to the receiver. The receiver will decode the message and encode another message so that he can send a feedback to the sender. And this is the process of effective communication. So there is also another factor or element that will affect this whole process, and this is the noise. Communication noise it means that any barrier to the effective communication process. Noises bar the effective communication process between senders and receivers. The different types of noise in communication are you can see here: physical, physiological, psychological, syntactical or semantic, and cultural. So this affects and hinders the communication process, which means it disturbs and interrupts the communication process. So the kinds of noise are physical, and this physical noise is that noise you can hear in the environment. Examples of these are rain, idle conversation and chat by the people around you, uh, animal sounds, and etc. Everything that can be heard around the environment. The fish, the physiolo- the physiological noise is something that happens within the sender and the receiver, and these are, for example, headaches, deafness that may affect hearing, or being mute, uh, blindness. Uh, Also, when the sender is talking fast or talking very slow, uh, and so on and so forth, that happens, which is most likely on the person. The psychological noise, for example of this psychological noise, is that beliefs, attitudes, behaviors, uh, religious and ethnic crisis, and ethnic and financial crisis. So, meaning to say, if the sender and the receiver have two different beliefs, uh, the communication process will be interrupted because they do not agree with each other. So the semantic noise is, this means that, for example of these are jargons, mispronunciation, mispronunciation, grammatical errors, and wrong sentences. So meaning to say, if the sender uses a different jargon that the receiver do not understand, they will not communicate properly. The cultural noise are gestures, posture, eye contact, space and touch, and wrong meanings, which means, yes, it affects the communication process. So now that we have talked about the process of communication, I want you to open your ebooks in your phones and read more on the read more. Take a moment to read about the principles of effective communication. Let me see. It can be found on page 32 to 34 of your ebook. Just search it there. Here. The general principles of effective communication, the principles of effective oral communication, and the principles of effective written communication. So that will be all, and thank you.